Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today we have a writer, producer, casting director, but more importantly, a leading actor in quite a few good movies getting ready to come out. We're going to cover some of those. We got David J. Paul with us. How are you doing today, my man?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I hustled my ass back from the. I had to get my workout going, and I was like, "Holy shit! I got 10 minutes. I got to speed over here. I'm in. I got to take a shower after the show, but I'm ready to rock. Let's have some fun, my man."
Oh yeah. So before we get into the movies and the entertainment industry, if you could kind of give a little, like understory of how you was as a child, and was it like movies what you wanted to do, or did it come in accidental?
Okay, cool. So in 1995, I went out for a CBA basketball team. It's called the G League now, but back then it was the CBA for the LA Clippers. I was a 3-point shooter. So I got a raw end of the deal in high school. It was a brand new coach, comes in as a senior. I'm ready to roll. And he cut me because I wasn't there for all 4 years. So he wanted to make a statement that you guys stay in school for 4 years to play ball. So basically, he screwed me. So I still had the itch. I still had a competitive nature. So I went out, tried out for the team for the Clippers, met guys like Sam Cassell, Terry DeHare, Lorenzen Wright, Danny Manning, all the big time guys back then. And they knew I was trying out for the shooting guard position. So I went out there. I made the team, but I couldn't play a single minute after because in the process I broke my foot pretty bad. So I had to go in rehab for 8 months. I had to get strong again. But once I got strong and healthy again, I wasn't the same because once you're in the higher levels, once you break one little thing, it's that much harder to catch up to everybody else who are already at the pro level. So I was like, forget about it. I'm not going to chase that dream anymore. So I said to myself, what else could I do? So I said, let me try another professional sport. So believe it or not, I went into the PBA tour for bowling. So
Okay.
so I toured up and down the East Coast for 1 full year. And sure enough, you won't believe this, I injured myself in that sport too. So I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? How do you injure yourself in freaking bowling? So I injured my lower left sciatic nerve muscle. I pulled it so bad that as a competitor, I was in front of a cello crab. So it was embarrassing for me to walk off when I got injured. So what do you do when you're a competitor? I was bowling injured. And every single time for another hour and a half, when I was bowling, I was injuring it more and more to a point where I went back to rehab. They said, dude, we told you not to play ball again. I said, I didn't. I'm back because I'm bowling now. And they're like, are you serious? Stop competing in professional sports now. So I rehabbed again, my lower back. And then there was this lady that was in the rehab room and she slipped me a card when my eyes were closed resting. And I knew it was a card because I felt it. So I opened my eyes, I looked at the card, and I asked the woman, I said, what are you slipping in my pocket? She said, oh, it's a casting card. When you're healed, I would like for you to give it a shot. I like your look, and I would like to give you a shot of acting in a comedy. It was the movie called The Homeboy with downtown Julie Brown. You remember that from MTV back in the day?
Yep.
So she was awesome. I loved her. So I didn't have that big a role, obviously. I was a background because I never acted before in my life, but I had to look like a business guy with a suit and tie and all that stuff. So I did the regular scene of what they asked out of like 500 people. And then the casting director says, we're only going to bring back two more people. So if you hear your name, only two of you out of the 500 come back. And they called some Asian lady because it was basically in a Chinese restaurant where it was filmed. And they called my name. So I was like, oh shit. So I stayed back an extra scene and I did more work with the lady. And after that, I was like, cool, let me see what else I could do with this. And I stopped the competitive sports. I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn more about acting. And then, sure enough, in 2017, I tried a short film on my own in South Orange, New Jersey. It's called Anadelia. It's a horror short film, and I did that. And I just casted my friends, and just had a great time. And I wasn't expecting from that. I just wanted to and put it on YouTube. Next thing you know, I find out from the director. He says, "Oh, I submitted this movie to the Brightside Tavern Short Film Festival for horror." I said, "Why the hell did you do that? I was just doing it for fun." He says, no, it was really good. So I think we could win. Next thing I know, I get a phone call from the guy that's running the film festival. And he says, congratulations, Dave, because I was friends with him. I said, congratulations about what? And he says, you don't know? I'm like, no. He says, your directors submitted your movie, Anadelia, and you got nominated out of 5 categories. You got nominated 4 out of the 5 for that movie.
Dang.
And sure enough, I had to convince the director to just direct a horror film. He never directed horror before. And I got nominated for Best Actor, and I lost by 3 votes. I was a little bummed out. And I said, don't worry, dude, you might have a chance at winning. And here I am saying there's no way. He never directed before horror. So how's he going to win? And sure enough, Best Director, fucker won.
Oh,
So,
I think we might actually have one of your fans on with us, Daryl Goldberg.
yeah, good dude.
If you got a question for Dave, go ahead and ask him if you want. He just said hello, everyone.
Great
Hey.
question there.
Go ahead and continue what you were saying.
So right after that, I was like, okay, maybe I could pull off something here and maybe be an actor. So in 2022, I came back. And so 2022, everything worked out. I moved to Florida. So I was from New Jersey. I couldn't stand the cold weather, the snow. Ever since I broke my foot, hurting every time. So I said, let's just go to Florida. So came down here. Next thing I know, the movie bug, it just kicked hard, and I've been acting ever since 2022, nonstop. So
Yeah,
now I got like 93 projects under my belt now, and rising. I got more coming. I'm just having a blast, man. I'm having a blast acting and story creating and forming teams to make movies, meeting cool people in the industry. It's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get right into it with some of your upcoming stuff. The first one is The Veil of Silence. You play the lead, Thomas Green, and your co-lead is Amber Brooke. If you can give a little bit of detail about the film without spoiling anything, and you're also going to Liverpool for this.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, so I'm really, really excited about it. Mike Davies, he's a brilliant guy, right? Mike Davies, he's the author of the book. It's based on his book that he wrote called Veil of Silence. He sent it to me. He asked me to read it. I read it. He says, "What do you think about Thomas Green?" I definitely took notes on Thomas Green because I love horror. I love everything that comes to just something that pops out at me. And when I read that book, Thomas Green, right away just popped. And I was like, damn, I would love to play a guy like that someday. And sure enough, when I was talking to Mike, he says, I think you could pull this one off. I watched what you do. You're a great villain. You really play it off well. You get high in character. You have a great level. So why not play him? So I was like, for real, dude, I'm down. I'm definitely going to make Thomas Green come back for reality. So I'm really excited about that. The story is based around Thomas Green, right? So Thomas Green's a surgeon. He is having a hard time understanding what is reality and what is like in his head, right?
Yeah.
And what he's basically doing is he is operating on people and killing them. And there's this character named Erica, played by Amber Brooke, that gets away from Thomas Green. And Thomas Green then goes into hiding, then he gets arrested, and it all starts falling down and crashing down on Thomas. Because Erica, obviously, she says who I am, what I did, and then the whole thing goes downhill from there. But other than that, it gets really exciting. It gets really interesting later on in the movie, which I don't want to give too much details away because you got the book and watch the movie. But it's suspenseful, it's supernatural, and like if I say you guys gotta watch this if you like the supernatural horror film, this is disturbing. This is this is disgusting, gory, but it's also a bang of a movie that you guys got to watch.
All right. Sounds like right up my alley. I love all of those. So,
If you're gonna watch,
oh yeah. Hell, I'm gonna buy the book too, and I don't read a lot of books. So,
yeah,
uh, you also have another one coming out called The Reaper: A New Born. You play Brian. Can you give a little bit of detail on that story and just your character?
yeah. So the movie is currently being filmed. We started filming last Saturday. Uh, Reaper the Newborn is about this character named Brian, and he's kind of like a little nerd, right? He has a geeky vest, outfits. Not really the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to outfit wearing, and he's by himself. He's a loner, and what happens is when he's home, he starts hearing things. He starts seeing things. He thinks that okay, it's just my imagination, and then he thinks maybe it's like late night movies getting in my head. Maybe it's not real, but little by little, things, supernatural things, they start popping around Brian, and he goes to work when all this stuff starts happening at his home. He leaves, he goes to work. He's being picked on at work, so he's getting bullied by everybody in the office. Then what happens is the company owners, it's run by Mr. and Mrs. Henderson, married couple. They throw away a big fancy mansion party. It's all in a mansion. It's big. It's huge, and all of us are invited. And this woman Tina, who's a colleague of Brian, says, "Don't worry, don't let them bother you. I'll stay by you. So if they pick on you, I'll back you up." So I'm like, okay, cool. But here I am. Everyone's having a good time. And Brian's still hearing voices, but it's getting louder and louder to a point where he doesn't know if he's going crazy or what's happening here. So one by one, make a long story short, one by one, Brian starts picking people off in the party. And each time he starts picking people off, it's more gruesome than the next. To the point is Brian eventually, after enough kills, he's the main man. He turns into the badass Reaper himself.
All right. That sounds like another one I'm going to be watching.
Nice.
You also have, I mean, you got like 30 some odd movies that are coming down the line, which is awesome. And like, yeah, like you're a busy man.
I try.
So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no
Uh,
problem.
you also have another one that I just recently found out about called Desert Fiends 2.
Yeah,
And you played Duke. Can you give a little bit of detail on that one and the character?
yeah. So right now, the script is currently being revamped a little bit. So I don't know a whole too much about Duke, but what I do know is Duke is a bounty hunter. He's one of a group of bounty hunters that goes on a mission, and the mission is he tracks down the desert fiends in the Las Vegas desert. Hot as shit, obviously. And these killers, it's like House on Haunted Hill stuff. I mean, House Haunted. What was that name in the woods? The Hills Have Eyes. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and I'm one of the bounty hunters, and Duke is kind of the guy where he just shoots. He shoots before asked questions. So he's shooting. He possibly shoots and kills innocent people because oh man. And then eventually one of the Desert Fiends catches up to the bounty team, and most likely Duke might actually see the end of his life. But um, we'll see. You never know; things could change.
Oh yeah. Then you have another one coming out called Return of the Corn Zombies. Now, I've talked to a couple people that are on this film also. Uh, they haven't spoiled anything. If you can give a little bit of a synopsis and your character, I believe Sean. Yeah. And well, it's been let go that you play the villain. Uh,
A big surprise.
yeah. I mean, you play a pretty good villain though. Like
Thank you.
you make it very believable, and you make it to a point where it's like no one wants to meet you in a dark alley. You know what I'm saying?
Good. And I'm doing my
But so your character plays into Return of the Corn Zombies in a manner that only I guess you can talk about.
well. I can't talk about too much, but
Yeah.
by the way, before I say it, you got to buy the movie. Bayview Distribution. But anyway, besides the point. So it's directed by S.J. Herman, cool guy, brilliant guy. Ann Myrna, producer, brilliant lady, great friend. So I play this character named Sean. Sean is the leader of the homestead, meaning that one of my daughters is out in the cornfields and finds a couple survivors, right? She basically tells them, come on, you'll be safe out of this cornfield from all the zombies. Come into this place where you'll be safe, called the homestead. So they come in, and next thing you know, my daughter introduced them to Sean. So Sean turns around, and I introduce myself and my family. I basically tell these survivors, don't worry, you're here, you're safe. Nobody or nothing will ever touch you while I'm still around. And don't want to try and get too much farther into it, but I must say, a zombie movie, no one's ever safe, correct?
That's very true.
So with Sean's character, I try and keep them as safe as possible up until Sean has a different change of mind. And things then eventually backfire on Sean. And then his brilliant ideas and great ideas is pretty much not the greatest idea after all.
We have, I believe, one of your fans here, Juan. If you have any questions for David, go ahead and feel free.
How you doing, bud?
Hey, Juan, what's up?
What's up, man?
So, Juan, you just want to tell everybody about the job that we did together recently, Fight Night?
Yep, we did a Fight Night. It was with you and Misfits fighters, Zach Ziggy Johnson.
All right.
It was basically under kind of like an underground fight movie. He was Devlin, basically the devil.
That's cool.
My character makes a deal with the devil to get himself out of debt, basically. Has to do an illegal street fight, and then if he won, he got his debt cleared, basically.
Yep. But they're gonna have to watch the movie to see if he got his debt cleared or not.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
But Juan, he's a great guy. He's actually creating another story. He's writing a script, which I'm fortunate enough and lucky enough to be a part of. I finally get to play a vampire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Juan, you just want to say a little bit about it because no one really knows about it
So
yet.
it is a feature film from a short film I did. It was my very first short film. It's called The House on 4th Street. It is a monster type movie. He's going to be a vampire. We're going to have almost like a witch, and then a character that's similar to like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type character.
All right.
He's going to be a regular human, and then we're going to see him transform into a mutated beast kind of monsterish.
That's right up my alley too.
Yeah, Josh is going to buy that movie.
Now, believe it or not, I mean, like if I panned around, you guys would be like, you have a lot of movies. Yeah. Now, horror is my genre. So, like anybody who does a horror movie, I won't say I'm going to be an instant fan of because I obviously have to see the movie and their acting,
Right.
But the thing is like if you got a good story from beginning, middle, and end, I'm hooked. And the best thing you can do is be as original as possible because a lot of people out there, they just want to mimic what they see.
Yeah.
So
So I'm definitely going to buy the movie. I'm not going to lie.
maybe Juan will allow me to sink my teeth into some people, right, Juan?
Oh yeah, you're going to be casting director.
Sweet.
Oh yeah. So is there any other movies you have coming up that you want to mention? Because this is your show, bro. This is all about you, man.
Oh man, we don't have enough time.
That's very true, but still.
Well, there's a fun movie that I did that's in editing phase right now. It's called Doll of Deceit. I was working on that with a great cast. I met a lot of cool people out there. That movie was written by Amanda Jensen and Rex McSeaton. I was a producer and one of the leads. That movie was pretty much about a husband and wife. My wife was Amanda Jensen. I was, the husband. So I was Richard Dartman. The character was a nice, rich man, did everything for his wife. You're in a mansion type style house. Uh, she has jewelry up the galore. She's living a great life because her husband makes sure that she's loved and taken care of. But a lot of people don't understand how the hell I became rich. So secretly, I go up to the attic and I am in the dark web. I pretty much become a serial killer. And I have to, you know, listen to everybody coming into this secret encoded website called Porcelain Playmates. And each person that comes on, they ask me, can you please make me a real life size doll for someone that I lost, someone that died, someone I couldn't have? And I say, yeah, no problem. So I get the description. They pay my character 200 grand, and I go out and try and find the exact kind of person they're looking for. Either I'm stalking a girl in the park, or I'm going to a gay club and getting a gay man for a lover, or if I'm just going anywhere, wherever I have to find these people. I do it in just in disguise in a way to let them know that I'm interested, and then I take them back and I kill them. And then when I kill them, I bring them back to my house without my wife knowing. I cut them up in different body parts and I put them into doll parts. And then I ship them back off to the customer. And they got their own life size porcelain playmate doll they always wanted. And eventually, as a sick bastard serial killer as I become, I start unraveling, unfolding, and I'm not realizing what is freaking reality anymore. And now I'm a man, like a chicken with no head, and I'm running around. Everything is falling apart. And then eventually, when you watch the movie, the ending will sort of give you a little surprise about what? How the hell did that happen? It's that kind of story.
Oh yeah. Uh, Out of all the movie roles you've had and all the characters you played, was there one character that stood out, whether it be in a film that you've already done or one that you got coming out? Was there a character that stood out to you that was like, this is someone who I know I can fully 100% embody because of similar experiences in life, or no?
Oh, damn. Now, got to really think on that one. um, Actually, no, not really.
No.
Because in a lot of the movies that I did, I'm a villain. I'm a serial killer. I'm just a killer in general. I can't envision myself doing that in real life. I played a good guy before so far,
Yeah.
so every villain role I play, I can't envision myself doing that in real life. Eventually, there's other movies that are being made, like written right now as we speak, that I can't mention yet. But I'm gonna be in a Western movie very soon. I'm gonna be an outlaw, leader of my own gang, something like that. I dreamed of, and it's finally gonna happen. But I mean, eventually, there's gonna be one movie that will be almost similar to what I do in real life. Um, but for right now, after everything I did so far, nothing comes like that. But it will eventually.
Oh yeah. Uh, was you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So to kind of take a back step for a minute, when you got injured playing sports in both basketball and bowling, when you got into the movies, was you kind of like hesitant at first because you didn't know what to expect, or was it just something you dove head in first, right into the deep end?
I head right into the deep end. It's my competitive nature from sports. It usually helps when you're a competitive athlete and you jump into something high level like the movies, because it's still very competitive. You got to have the I factor. So you're going in by yourself. You don't know anybody in this industry, right? You don't know anyone from the professional industry world in sports. You're going in on your own because you don't have a choice. I'm injured, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was people said, you got to go to this acting school before you jump into anything for acting. You got to know what you're doing. I said, the hell, I don't have to go into no school. I'll teach myself. So
Yeah.
I find out where there's a movie set that's where I live, and I go and I just want to see what's going on. I want to see what I need to know to teach myself. So I go on a live set. I'm a featured background, right? I'm watching everybody. I'm taking notes. I'm taking direction. I'm watching all the actors. I'm watching what they do. So I'm studying basically everything live. And I take notes, but I don't write notes. I take notes in my mind, in my head. And then when I get home, I know what to do. So little by little, I start knocking on doors. And I said, hey, can you please give me a chance? I would love to act for you. I could promise you I will blow you away. I'll make sure that whatever role you have for me, I'll make sure I'll do the best that I can, plus some. And I just want the chance. That's why I tell everybody of how I started. And luckily, fortunately, people gave me the opportunity. And then when I did it, I showed them that I back up what I say. I show up on set. I'm a professional. They tell me to act like this. I said, please show me by example. They show me, and then right away, I know what to do. I'm the kind of person, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the industry that do the same thing. You got to show me things instead of just telling me. If you show me things, then I could understand what you want. I could hear you all day long. You could instruct me all day long, but I need to see. I'm a visualist. So if you show me what I have to do and I ask a couple questions, I will take that role, that character, and I will make it even better than what you even imagined. And so far, so good. And of all the movies I've been doing, I've been blowing people away by me sticking by what I promise, and that is delivering the best acting that I possibly can, plus some in whatever character they give me.
Yeah. You've been on sets with some pretty well-known people. Uh, and being on sets with them, did you kind of, because you said a minute ago that you're constantly taking notes, but has anyone just outright said, "Hey, let me give you some advice," and has that advice helped you?
I mean, it's funny because a lot of times when I go on set, um, I'm already in character. I'm already mentally there. I'm dressed the part. I'm mentally there. So so I heard this numerous of times that after the fact, people weren't really so anxious to come up to me because they didn't know how to approach me because they could see that my mindset's different when I'm there.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that I'm still focused in character, but somebody has to go and tell them, oh, don't worry about Dave. He's in character, but you could go to him afterwards and talk to him. And that happens a lot. When I'm out of character, when they say cut, then I'm like outgoing. I'm wild. I'm funny. I'm having a great time. And then that's when people come up to me and say, oh man, you're so fucking cool and fun to hang with. Because when I saw you first, it looked like I was intimidated. I didn't know if I should come up to you or not because you weren't coming up to any of us. You were just so focused. But now, since I understand that you're coming prepared, already in character, that I like to give you some advice. And I said, yeah, cool. What advice do you have for me? And they're like, advice number one. And then they're just going by what they noticed, what they would like to see. And I'm just taking, like I said, mental notes, not writing down notes, but I retain a lot of information in my mind. So a lot of times when people give me those mental notes, I go back maybe after a couple scenes and I even write down on a piece of paper. I write down what those notes were and I try and act it out by myself. I go to a corner somewhere on set when people are getting ready for the next scene and I actually act and do it myself of what I was told with some sort of advice. And if it actually feels right to do it, then I'll even bring it into the next scene. But if I'm not feeling it, you got to feel things. If you don't feel it and you force things, it's not meant to happen.
Oh,
For me, I'm loose. Like I don't get nervous. I just go over things in my head, and I like to always try something once. So with those kind of advices, I try it once. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. I go back to what I was training myself to do. So yeah, pretty much that's what I do.
oh yeah. We're nearing the end. We got a couple minutes left. What advice would you give to somebody who's trying to get into the industry?
Don't listen to people when they say don't do it or you can't do it. There's so many people out there that wish they could do what you're about to do going into this industry, but they don't have the balls to do it. They're nervous. They don't think they can handle it. If you're going for it, do not listen to people. Just do it yourself. If you have a dream, you go for it. Like I said before, a lot of people said I couldn't do it, right? I'm coming from an athlete world. You had no shot. Okay, keep putting the fuel in my fire and I'll damn well do it. And when you do it, if you make that leap, keep moving forward. You can't stop. If you stop, if you stutter, if you have second thoughts, you're going to burn and crash. In this industry, it's very cutthroat. A lot of people, unfortunately, are backstabbers. A lot of people talk behind people's backs. A lot of people want you to succeed. It's all of the above, right? Just
Yeah.
don't listen to nobody. Do what you love to do and go full. If you go half, it won't work. So that's the advice that I have for anybody who's trying to get in the industry. It's hard, but if you want to succeed, keep pushing and don't stop until you feel like you have a niche in it, and just keep moving forward. And eventually you'll find the right people in this industry to work with, and they'll be your rock. And make sure you form that team together, because then you'll be unstoppable. Then you can make movies together, you can create stories, you can write scripts, you can build a team together, build an acting portfolio, and bring a lot of talent with you. And you can make so many movies just by a little click alone. You don't need everybody all over the place, because eventually you bring more people into your circle, the more problems it becomes, because there's more blah blah blah. There's more I think this, or you should do that. You don't want that. You want to keep that group small, make sure you're all dedicated, you're all close, and you all want to succeed and have the right game plan. Once that happens, you take off.
All right. I want to thank you, David, for coming on. It's been a blast, and you're an awesome dude. So for the audience out there, this is our first face-to-face conversation, but me and David have actually had a phone conversation because it was a kind of filling you out kind of moment just to see how we were. And I knew from the phone call that, genuine dude, awesome. And I'm standing by that still to this day. So
Thank you, Mr. Win. Hey, I got news for you. You're
huh,
not bad yourself, bro. You're not bad yourself.
I try. All right, but again, I do thank you for coming on. And anytime you want to come on NC-17, you're more than welcome, even if it's to say I have a booger in my nose.
Hey, I got a question. Are you going to have another show called NC-18?
Uh, you never know. You
Hey,
never know.
NC-18, you could have a co-star. You never know.
That's right. All right, it's been an honor, and again, thank you, and keep rocking and rolling, and mind your falls so you don't break nothing. If you feel what I'm saying.
Thank you. I won't break anything.
All right, everybody. Until next time, stay NC-17.